Jared Vance walked through the bustling auction hall, trying not to trip over the jumble of cargo crates, broken droids, and half-functional starship parts scattered across the floor. The smell of burnt metal and recycled fuel lingered in the air. He had been down on his luck for months, after a failed mining venture left him deep in debt. The thought of another failed bid made his stomach twist, but he couldn't turn away. There had to be something here that could change his fortune. The auctioneer's voice boomed over the chatter. Next item. A rare find, ladies and gentlemen. Freighter number 23B. Slightly damaged. Minimal systems. Starting bid. 50 credits. Jared blinked. 50 credits? That was almost nothing. He looked at the ship, a small freighter sitting crookedly on its landing pads. Rust streaked its sides, and one of its thrusters seemed slightly bent. Most of the other bidders were laughing or shaking their heads. Wait, Jared muttered, catching the auctioneer's next words. This ship comes with a companion? The auctioneer smiled as if he had expected the reaction. Yes. The previous owner claimed it came with a navigator. Small, unusual, but apparently loyal. Not included in the warranty, of course. Jared frowned. He had seen plenty of gimmicks before, ships advertised with free cargo or even exotic pets. But a navigator companion? That sounded like a scam. Still, curiosity tugged at him. Maybe it was some kind of AI, some clever little robot that made this cheap ship more valuable than it looked. The bidding started. A few experienced pilots raised their paddles half-heartedly. But the freighter was so beaten down that nobody wanted to risk it. Jared hesitated for a moment, then whispered to himself, "Why not?" He raised his paddle. 50 credits, the hammer fell. Sold, the auctioneer smiled. To the gentleman with the bold heart. Congratulations. Jared felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as he approached his new ship. It looked far worse up close. Panels were loose, paint chipped, and the cockpit glass had a tiny crack. He ran his hand over the hull, feeling the cold metal. It was cheap, yes, but it was his chance to start over. When he finally opened the cockpit, he expected to see an empty space, maybe a chair and a few old instruments. Instead, he froze. A tiny figure peeked from under the pilot's seat. It was no robot, no machine. It was a small alien woman, glowing faintly, no taller than a foot. Her skin shimmered in shades of blue and silver, and her eyes were large and bright, reflecting light like twin stars. "Oh, you scared me," she said, her voice melodic but tiny. She waved one delicate hand. "I am Lyra. I am bonded to this ship." Jared stumbled backward. "Bonded? Wait. You're real?" "I am," she said softly, stepping out. Her feet barely made a sound on the metal floor. "And I am your navigator. I serve the ship and its owner." Jared rubbed his eyes, thinking he might be dreaming. "You serve the ship?" Lyra nodded. "The ship chooses its navigator. I have been waiting for one worthy to command it." Jared couldn't help but laugh nervously. I'm just a pilot. Not exactly legendary, and you're tiny." Lyra tilted her head. "Size does not limit skill. I can guide the ship through storms, asteroid fields, and battles. But I need someone brave to command it. Someone who acts with heart." Jared looked around the cockpit, then back at the tiny alien. Somehow, despite her size, she seemed confident, even powerful. There was something about her presence that made the small freighter feel alive. He swallowed. "All right, if this is real, then I guess. Welcome aboard, Lyra." A smile lit up her face, and she fluttered up slightly as if weightless. "Thank you. You will not regret it. Together we can do things that others cannot imagine." Jared still felt uneasy. A tiny alien navigator was not what he had planned when he came to the auction, but as he ran through the ship's controls, he noticed Lyra's subtle movements, her hands glowing faintly as she touched the panels. Instantly, systems that seemed broken started humming back to life. Lights flickered, engines purred, and the navigation screens filled with complex star charts. "See?" Lyra said softly. "I told you. We are connected." Jared blinked. He realized this little ship might not be as worthless as it seemed. And this tiny alien woman, she might be the best ally he had ever had. For the first time in months, hope sparked in his chest. He grinned, gripping the controls. "All right, Lyra. Let's see what this old ship of mine can do." Lyra's eyes shone brightly. "We will fly farther than you ever dreamed, Jared Vance. And together we will face what others cannot." The cheap ship, once ignored and unwanted, suddenly seemed full of potential. Outside, the auction hall faded, but inside, A new partnership had begun, one that would test courage, skill, and the power of humans and their unexpected allies. Jared sat in the pilot's seat, staring at the ship's control panel with a mix of excitement and worry. The small freighter was alive in a way he had never experienced. Lights flickered across the dashboard, and the engines hummed smoothly under Lyra's touch. Her tiny hands moved like lightning, pressing buttons and swiping controls he hadn't even noticed existed. I've never seen a ship do this on its own, Jared admitted, leaning closer to the console. Are you sure this isn't some kind of trick? Lyra tilted her head, her glowing eyes reflecting the soft light of the cockpit. Not a trick. I am part of this ship. I feel it, guide it, and help it respond to you. But only if you trust me, Jared Vance. Jared chuckled nervously. Trust, huh? We just met. She floated slightly in the small cockpit, her wings of energy shimmering faintly. Then we will learn quickly. Trust is earned through action. For the next few hours, they ran tests and repairs. Lyra guided Jared's hands to hidden panels, showing him how to reboot systems, optimize the engine, and adjust navigation controls. She explained in simple terms, but her knowledge of advanced technology was staggering. The ship responded to her every command as if it understood her language. Jared soon realized that with her help, the ship could maneuver in ways no ordinary freighter could. Tight turns, sudden boosts, even hovering in zero gravity with precision. It was like flying a racing craft, not a cargo freighter. You're incredible, Jared said, leaning back in his seat. I never thought a tiny ship could do all this. Lyra's smile glowed softly. And you are learning. Humans are clever, Jared. Your instincts complement my guidance. Together we can navigate anything. It was not all smooth, of course. Lyra's size made some things difficult. When Jared tried to hand her tools, she floated out of reach, giggling as she dodged his fingers. She laughed when he tripped over a loose panel, and Jared had to admit her laughter was contagious. Slowly, he started enjoying her company. You know, Jared said after a while, this is kind of fun. Even if you are small, you've got a huge brain. I think we're going to get along. Lyra's eyes sparkled brighter. I hope so. I have waited a long time for a captain worthy of this ship. I think I have found one. They tested the ship's thrusters near the edge of the spaceport. The engines purred. The small freighter darted between larger cargo ships, weaving effortlessly around floating debris. Lyra called out adjustments, her voice calm and clear. Jared followed her instructions, surprised at how naturally the coordination came. You're fast, Jared said, dodging a spinning container. I didn't know the ship could move like this. I know, Lyra replied. The ship is underestimated because of its size. But size is not power. Intelligence and skill are. Jared smiled. He liked that. Humans had always relied on ingenuity over brute force, and here was a tiny alien teaching him the same lesson. By the end of the day, they had covered hundreds of kilometers across the starport's space lanes. The cheap freighter, once overlooked and abandoned, now moved with confidence and grace. Jared felt pride in his hands guiding it, but he knew it was Lyra's skill that truly made it shine. As night fell, the stars twinkled above them. Jared leaned back and looked at the tiny alien beside him. So, you said you've been bonded to this ship for a long time? Yes, Lyra said softly. I wait for the right captain. I have seen many pass, but none were brave enough. You, she paused, then smiled. But you are different. You act with heart. That is what matters most. Jared nodded, feeling warmth in his chest. He had been alone for a long time, struggling to survive. And now he had someone who believed in him. Someone not human, but still understanding courage, loyalty, and skill. All right, he said, stretching his arms. Tomorrow we start for the outer systems. I want to see what this ship can really do, and I want to see what we can do together. Lyra floated closer, her tiny hands resting on the console. I am ready. Together we will navigate the stars and face any challenge. Jared laughed. Stars, huh? I hope they're ready for us. This ship may be small, but I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. She nodded, her glow softening as if the ship itself agreed. Yes, Captain. Adventure awaits, and together nothing is impossible. As the ship powered down for the night, Jared felt a sense of hope he hadn't felt in years. A cheap freighter, a tiny alien navigator, and a human pilot willing to take risks. Together, they might just make the impossible happen. Outside, the stars shimmered, and inside the cockpit, a partnership was born. one that would test courage, skill, and the extraordinary potential of humans when paired with the unknown. Jared and Lyra had been raveling for days through the outer rim of the Sci-fi expanse, a region of space known for floating asteroid belts and scattered debris. The cheap freighter, once ignored and overlooked, now moved like a living creature, guided by Lyra's precise instructions and Jared's growing confidence. "This sector is dangerous," Lyra said, floating near the control panel. "Pirates often patrol these belts looking for slow or damaged ships. Our agility will help, but we must remain alert." Jared nodded, scanning the nearby asteroids. "We're small and fast. That might actually be an advantage. Big ships can't move like we can." He didn't finish his sentence before alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the cockpit. "Multiple ships approaching," Lyra warned, her small hands flying across the controls. "Pirates. They've spotted us." Jared swallowed. He had faced trouble before, but this was different. The freighter was cheap, tiny, and far from any help. He glanced at Lyra. "Can we outrun them?" Lyra's eyes sparkled with determination. "We can outsmart them. Follow my guidance." The pirates' ships appeared, massive and menacing, their weapons glowing. They expected an easy target. A weak freighter, slow and defenseless. They had no idea what they were about to face. "Engage thrusters!" Jared shouted, pushing the controls forward. The small freighter shot forward, dodging a barrage of laser fire. Lyra called out precise directions, predicting the pirates' movements before they even happened. "Left 30 degrees. Upward now!" "Duck under the larger asteroid." Jared followed her guidance. The freighter twisted and turned with astonishing speed. The pirates fired again, but the small ship slipped between asteroids, barely missing the blasts. Jared's heart pounded. "You're incredible," he yelled over the alarms. "How are you so fast?" "I feel the ship," Lyra replied, her voice calm despite the danger. "And I read their patterns. They are confident, but not precise." The pirates became frustrated, their massive ships unable to follow the tiny freighter through the twisting asteroid field. Jared realized they weren't just fast, they were smart. Lyra's intuition turned their disadvantage into strength. "Prepare for the surprise," Lyra said, glowing brighter. "We will make them regret underestimating us." Jared trusted her completely. He steered the freighter toward a narrow gap between two huge asteroids. The pirates tried to follow, but their size worked against them. Two ships collided, causing explosions that lit the dark space with fire and debris. Jared laughed, adrenaline pumping. That's amazing. I've never seen anything like this." Lyra floated beside him, smiling. "And there is more. Trust me, Jared, we are only beginning." The remaining pirates regrouped, firing again, but Jared now understood the rhythm of the fight. With Lyra's guidance, they dodged each attack, using the small freighter's size and agility as a weapon. "You're learning fast," Lyra said. "Humans adapt quickly when they need to survive. That is why you are valuable to me." Jared's grin widened. "And you're teaching me things no human could ever know. Together, we're unstoppable." As the final pirate ship fired, Jared pulled a sudden maneuver. The freighter zipped upward, spinning around an asteroid, while Lyra activated a hidden thruster boost. The pirate ship overshot its target and collided with debris, leaving the last vessel to retreat in confusion. The cockpit was quiet except for the hum of the freighter's engines. Jared leaned back, wiping sweat from his brow. "We did it. We actually did it." Lyra hovered near the console, her small hands glowing faintly. "Yes, and you were brave. Fear would have made you hesitate, but you acted. Humans are capable of great courage, Jared. Even in impossible situations." Jared shook his head in disbelief. "A cheap freighter. A tiny alien navigator. We just took down a pirate squad. I don't know whether to laugh or celebrate." Lyra's laughter was soft but bright. "Celebrate, of course. Moments like these are rare. You have proven your skill and bravery, and I have proven the ship's potential." Jared smiled, feeling a new kind of confidence. This tiny freighter, which everyone had ignored, had outmaneuvered deadly pirates. And it was all because of Lyra's knowledge and his willingness to trust her. "I think we're going to be a good team," he said. Lyra nodded, her glow softening like the warm light of a star. "We will be more than a good team. We will be legendary. There are dangers ahead, Jared. But together, nothing can stop us." Jared looked out into the stars, the asteroid belts behind them now quiet. The outer rim was dangerous, but he no longer feared it. With Lyra at his side, he felt capable of anything. The cheap ship, once a forgotten relic, now carried a human and a tiny alien ready to face the unknown. And for the first time, Jared truly believed that luck, courage, and partnership could turn the impossible into reality. After the pirate encounter in the Sci-fi expanse, Jared and Lyra decided to take the small freighter to an old research station orbiting a forgotten moon. The station was rumored to hold experimental technology, abandoned for decades. Jared hoped they might find something useful to upgrade the ship, or even earn enough credits to secure supplies. "This station is nearly derelict," Lyra warned as they approached. "But it may contain knowledge we can use. Be cautious, Jared. Old technology can be unpredictable." Jared nodded, gripping the controls. "I'll keep us steady. You just tell me where to go." The station floated silently in space, its metal hull battered and oxidized. As the freighter docked, Jared noticed strange symbols etched into the airlock. Lyra hovered over them, her glowing hands tracing the lines. "These markings, they are not just decoration. They indicate the station's systems may respond to sentient minds, especially those linked to this ship." Jared raised an eyebrow. "You mean it can talk to the ship?" "In a way," Lyra said softly. "The station is alive with energy. It responds to intelligence, creativity, and bravery. I think it recognizes the bond between us and the freighter." Inside, the station was dark and empty, corridors lit only by flickering lights. Jared and Lyra moved cautiously, checking for unstable floors or broken machinery. Lyra's small size allowed her to float into spaces Jared could not reach, examining terminals and control panels with ease. "Look at this," Lyra said, touching a glowing console. Suddenly, holographic screens lit up, showing star charts, energy readings, and schematics of advanced ships. "These are blueprints, and they are compatible with our freighter. The station is offering its knowledge." Jared's eyes widened. "You mean we could upgrade our ship? Make it stronger, faster?" "Yes," Lyra replied, her glow brightening. "And perhaps even unlock hidden abilities." Over the next hours, they explored the station, integrating its systems with the freighter. Lyra guided Jared as he carefully followed her instructions. They discovered stealth protocols, advanced propulsion techniques, and defensive mechanisms that even Jared didn't know existed. "This ship is amazing," Jared said, watching the energy shields form around the hull. "It's no longer just a cheap freighter. It's like a fighter, a scout, and a cargo ship all in one." Lyra nodded, floating near the control panel. Its potential was hidden, waiting for someone worthy to command it. "You, Jared, have proven yourself. Courage and intelligence open doors others cannot reach." Suddenly, sensors detected movement outside the station. A rival salvage crew had tracked them, eager to steal the newly upgraded freighter. Their ship's engines glowed as they prepared to attack. "Jared," Lyra said calmly, "they think we are defenseless, but we are ready. Trust the ship and trust yourself." Jared took a deep breath and gripped the controls. The freighter responded instantly, systems activating at Lyra's guidance. Engines hummed, shields glowed, and hidden thrusters positioned the ship perfectly. As the salvage crew approached, Jared followed Lyra's precise instructions. Left, 30 degrees. Now upward. Duck behind the debris. The small freighter twisted, dodging incoming fire. The rival crew fired again, but the freighter's new defenses absorbed the blasts, leaving them confused and frustrated. "They are strong, but they underestimate us," Lyra said. "Humans adapt, and you are no exception." "Your choices make the difference." Jared's confidence grew. He realized that their success was not just due to the ship's hidden powers, but also their teamwork. Lyra's knowledge complemented his quick thinking, turning danger into advantage. Using the station's upgrades, they executed maneuvers that the rival crew could not anticipate. The small freighter zipped through narrow gaps, using stealth and energy bursts to confuse the attackers. One by one, the rival ships retreated, unable to match their speed and strategy. Jared leaned back, letting out a breath he didn't know he had been holding. "We did it again, and this time, we're even stronger." Lyra's glow softened as she floated beside him. "Yes, we have discovered the freighter's true potential. It is no longer just a cheap ship. It is a partner just like us, and it will carry us farther than we have ever dreamed." Jared smiled, a feeling of pride filling him. He thought of the long journey ahead, the adventures, the unknown systems, the dangers and discoveries. With Lyra and the freighter, he no longer felt powerless. They were a team, capable of facing challenges that would have been impossible alone. "Tomorrow," Jared said, We leave this station. There are systems to explore, people to help, and maybe even more hidden secrets waiting for us. Lyra nodded, her tiny hands glowing softly on the console. Yes, Jared, adventure awaits. And together we will meet it with courage, intelligence, and skill. The galaxy is vast, but we are ready. As the freighter powered down for the night, its new systems humming gently, Jared felt hope stronger than ever. A cheap ship, a tiny alien navigator, and a human pilot willing to learn and trust. Together they had unlocked power, potential, and a future filled with possibilities. The stars outside the station shone brightly, reflecting in the cockpit's glass. Inside, a partnership of courage, skill, and ingenuity prepared to face whatever lay beyond the horizon. Jared and Lyra had left the abandoned research station behind, their small freighter now upgraded. Protected and full of untapped potential, the galaxy seemed different to them now. Not empty, dangerous, or lonely, but full of opportunities waiting for courage, intelligence, and teamwork. As they soared through the starry void, Lyra floated near the control panel, her tiny hands glowing softly. The galaxy is vast, Jared. There are many challenges ahead, but together we are stronger than most would ever imagine. Jared smiled, feeling a sense of pride. I never thought a cheap ship and a tiny alien navigator could change my life. But here we are, ready for anything. Their first stop was a small trade colony on the outskirts of a busy system. The people there were struggling under constant raids from space bandits. Jared and Lyra decided to help. The freighter's small size made it perfect for sneaking into the bandits' territory undetected. Stealth mode activated, Lyra said, her hands tracing the ship's glowing interface. We can approach quietly and gather information. Then we can act, Jared nodded. He had learned to trust Lyra completely. Her knowledge, combined with his quick decisions, made them a powerful team. Together, they maneuvered through asteroid fields and abandoned stations, gathering intelligence on the bandits' plans. When the moment came, Jared piloted the freighter with precision, weaving around the larger ships while Lyra activated the freighter's hidden defense systems. Lasers and energy shields worked perfectly, giving them the advantage despite their small size. The bandits were no match. Confused and overwhelmed by the freighter's agility and the pilot's coordination, they surrendered or fled. The trade colony celebrated their victory, grateful for the bravery and cleverness of two unlikely heroes. You see, Jared, Lyra said softly as they left the colony, humans are capable of great courage. Your willingness to act and think creatively makes all the difference, Jared laughed. And you, Lyra, make the impossible possible. I've never worked with anyone like you. We make a good team. Their reputation began to grow. Word of the tiny freighter and its unusual navigator spread across nearby systems. Traders, explorers, and even some officials wanted to meet them. For Jared, who had once been struggling just to pay debts, the attention was surreal, but he didn't let it change him. The freighter and Lyra were his true allies, and together they remained focused on adventure and helping others. One day, while navigating a newly discovered nebula, Lyra's glow brightened with excitement. Jared, there's something here, an anomaly. Energy readings unlike anything I've ever seen. It could be dangerous, but also valuable. Are you ready? Jared grinned. You know I am. Let's see what this galaxy has for us. As they approached the swirling lights of the nebula, the freighter moved with grace, avoiding dangerous energy currents while Lyra guided them closer. Inside the cockpit, Jared felt a thrill he hadn't felt since his first flight. Adventure, discovery, and danger were all part of life now. And he had Lyra by his side. The anomaly revealed a hidden pocket of ancient technology. Strange energy patterns and forgotten machines filled the space, waiting for someone brave enough to explore. Jared and Lyra worked together, combining human curiosity and alien knowledge to navigate safely. This could change everything, Jared whispered. All of it. Technology, exploration, even the way people see the galaxy. Lyra floated beside him, her glow reflecting excitement. And it is only the beginning. Together we will continue to explore, learn, and help. Our story is just starting, Jared. As the freighter glided through the stars, now faster and smarter than ever, Jared realized something important. It wasn't the ship's size or the value of its parts that mattered. It was courage, intelligence, and trust. With these, even the smallest freighter and the tiniest navigator could achieve greatness. He glanced at Lyra, who was floating quietly, her eyes bright and full of life. We've come a long way, haven't we? Yes, she said softly. And there is much farther to go. The galaxy is full of wonders, dangers, and challenges. But with courage and heart, humans and those who choose to trust them can face anything. Jared nodded, a warm feeling of hope and purpose filling him. Together they had turned a cheap freighter into a legendary ship, faced pirates, rival crews, and unknown dangers, and discovered hidden powers beyond imagination. And together they would continue to explore, to fight for justice and to prove that humans, when brave and clever, could achieve extraordinary things. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, each one a new adventure waiting to be discovered. Inside the cockpit, a human pilot and a tiny alien navigator prepared for their next journey, ready to face whatever the galaxy had in store. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the name of a tiny freighter, its tiny navigator, and its human captain began to shine like a beacon, symbolizing courage, ingenuity, and the incredible power of working together.